Savings Bank, you get personalized customer service like nowhere else, like our travel club.
Come see us, bank with us, and travel with us. Council Bluffs Savings Bank, hometown banking the way it used to be.
All right, please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome. I'd like to call the meeting to order, show that all council members are in attendance, and is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Tonight we have a proclamation designating November 1st, 2015 as Extra Mile Day. City of Council Bluffs, Iowa Office of the Mayor Proclamation. Whereas Council Bluffs, Iowa is a community which acknowledges that a special vibrancy exists within the entire community when its individual citizens collectively go the extra mile in personal effort, volunteerism, and service. And whereas Council Bluffs, Iowa is a community that encourages its citizens to maximize their personal contribution to the community by giving of themselves wholeheartedly and with total effort, commitment, and conviction to their individual ambitions, family, friends, and community. And whereas Council Bluffs, Iowa is a community which chooses to shine a light on and celebrate individuals and organizations within its community who go the extra mile in order to make a difference and lift up fellow members of their community. And whereas Council Bluffs, Iowa acknowledges the mission of the Extra Mile America to create 550 extra mile cities in America, and is proud to support Extra Mile Day on November 1st, 2015. Therefore, I, Matt Walsh, Mayor of the City of Council Bluffs, does hereby proclaim November 1st, 2015 as Extra Mile Day in the City of Council Bluffs, Iowa. And I urge each individual in the community to take time on this day to not only go the extra mile in his or her own life, but to also acknowledge all those who are inspirational in their efforts and commitment to make their organizations, families, community, country, and world a better place with the seal of the City of Council Bluffs. Tonight we have 4 public hearings. This is the time and place for a public hearing in the matter of Resolution 15-281 granting final plat approval for a 32-lot residential subdivision to be known as the Hills of Cedar Creek, Phase 1, Replat 5. Is proof of publication on file?
It is on file.
Have any written protests been received?
None received.
Is there anyone who would like to address the council in regards to this matter? Seeing none, what is the council's pleasure?
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. This is time and place for a public hearing in the matter of Resolution 15-282, granting final plat approval of a 3-lot commercial subdivision to be known as Morris Subdivision, being a replat of lots 1 and 2 Wedge Resort Subdivision. Is proof of publication on file?
It is on file.
Have any written protests been received?
None received.
Does anyone wish to address the council in regard to this matter? What is the council's pleasure?
Motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
All those in favor, or any discussion, I'm sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. This is time and place for a public hearing in regards to Resolution 15-283, approving the voluntary annexation of 6.207 acres, more or less, lying north and west of the current city limits, being part of Lot 1 Auditor Subdivision of the southeast quarter of the northwest quarter of Section 5, Township 74 North, Range 43, west of the 5th Principal Meridian, Pottawatomie County, Iowa. Is proof of publication on file?
It is on file.
Have any written protests been received?
None received.
Does anyone wish to address the council in regards to this matter? And Jeff, or Whoever, can you give your name and address for the record, please?
Okay, my name is Albert Babramski. My address is 9900 South 252nd Street, Waterloo, Nebraska. Okay, I own the property in question, and what I would like to do right now, it is a 6-acre plot with one house on it, and what I wish to do is divide it up into 4 lots so that 3 more houses could be constructed on the property. Right now, there's no sewer going up the street. The closest sewer is down the hill on Madison Avenue. The property had been on the market. It's too small for a cost-effective commercial or larger project. So the best use of the land would be to allow 3 new homes to be built there. If you go up Longview, there's older homes on acreages, and there's newer construction on acreages. So this would just be newer homes that fit in with the ones across the street. And it's just, I mean, Longview is going to be Longview. I mean, I know it's a sacred subject, and it's sacrilegious to talk about it, but, you know, state law needs to be changed to allow the city to grow in an orderly manner. But in order for me to get these lots, I have to go through the process of voluntary annexation. Okay?
Anyone have any questions?
Anybody questions?
No, thank
Yeah,
you.
this is basically what it's gonna look like, is just taking the existing and just adding 3 more lots for houses to be built, and that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
Jeff, do you want?
Jeff Diller, 1250 Longview Loop, a neighbor to the property. I'm not in favor of this annexation because it opens the possibility of development that may not be conducive or fit into the neighborhood. Thank you.
Any questions for Jeff?
I'm Irene Engeroth, and I live at 1104 Longview Loop, which is on, I'll call it the downhill side. I have a couple of questions. One would be, I would like to know why the city would be interested in 6 acres, and that's all there is. And that doesn't leave much room in there for development. I know he's had plans where he wanted to do a whole bunch of magnanimous things, but the land's too small for that to begin with. I guess my other question would be, what do we have a minimum size that these lots can be cut up into because of since there's no available sewer, that each one of those places would have to have a septic system? That's another question.
But
City's requirement is the 1 acre lots.
1 acre lots?
without the sewer, and then if sewer were brought there, there would be, there is other city codes that detail the size of the lot
But-
and the amount of space that a structure could encumber on the lot.
So in other words, there would have to be a sanitary sewer there before they could cut it up smaller than 1 acre or whatever the minimum is there? Okay. I'm kind of concerned about the drainage too, because I sit on the downhill side of it. And when you start messing with a land like that and pushing and shoving and doing this and that, all that water has to go somewhere. All that stuff has to go somewhere. And I'm kind of very leery about that because of the property that I have. I've lived there a really long time, as have several other people there. And my other question would be, since they do not plan on anything else happening other than bringing it into the city, who then takes care of the roads and the other things that we have out there? Do we have fire service then automatically? Do we have
I think, you know, around the city of Council Bluffs, there is mutually agreed to responsibilities for roads, and so I would doubt that that would change any. And I think that the county maybe takes care of your road now, but I don't know that for a fact.
I think that would be my understanding.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you're gonna have county out here and then you're gonna have
Yeah.
this small area
Well,
that's gonna be.
there's many places around the city limits where, for example, State Orchard Road, half the road is in the city, half the road's in the county, and so we've gone together and talked to the county and said, you take care of this road, we'll take care of that. And so I can't see that changing. If they did some, in regards to your question and concern about grading and water being displaced on your property, if they did grading, they'd have to get a grading permit that would hopefully address that so that wouldn't be a burden on you too. But
Okay, and I do have one other thing. It says in your, this is on the information packet that you got, that the land adjoins the city line or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's not totally true. If you take a look at the map, when the Loftus property was put inside of the city by voluntary annexation, they didn't go out clear to the middle of the street. And so that means that what this guy is proposing does not join city property until they added this extra bit onto it, which has nothing to do with his 6 acres. So to me, that appears to be a violation of your own rules.
well, it's not a violation. In fact, in Iowa, they allow an additional 20% of annexation. Really not sure exactly what, because didn't look at the map, and so I'm going to qualify this, which is, and just say generally this is how it works. They add another 20% to allow cities to smooth out the city's property line of additional annexation. So if someone were had 10 acres, I'm doing this for simplicity of math, that they wanted to voluntarily annex, you could take another 2 acres to smooth out the city boundary. And so I'm assuming that that's what happened in this case.
Okay, well, basically, they show that this red line comes down and it takes up about half the street. So here again, I'm assuming, because I don't know, that when Mr. Loftus went in there, that should have automatically went out to the center of the street to begin with, which then would have allowed him to be adjoining the city. But at this point, he's not. What they're doing is going across the street, and like I said, I don't know what's going on there, but that would then allow that to join the city. So it just seems like it's not quite right to me.
The lines, Iowa annexation law is very confusing and complex, and pretty much the exact opposite of what you might see on local television on the other side of the river. Their laws are about the exact opposite. And in Iowa, like for example, across the river, there are parts of rural parts of Douglas County within Omaha, and there are parts of Omaha within Douglas County. There are islands in each, and in Iowa we can't do that. So there are some spots, it's true, where the connector to keep them all connected together is not any wider than a road or something like that. But in this case, when I looked at the map, I'm satisfied that it does connect. Does it look pleasing on a map or make sense? No, but the law requires it to do it that way. The only other way that could be done differently is if your entire street were annexed, and it doesn't sound like perhaps you're interested in doing that. Am I wrong?
Am I interested in it?
Yeah, are you interested in being
No,
in?
I'm not.
That's why that line has
No,
to be
I'm
done
not.
that way so that respects your wishes. So it's got to be one or the other.
I would have to say that I live outside the city of Council Bluffs and have lived outside of the city of Council Bluffs for a very long time. There's a reason for that. Not because I don't like the city or anything about it. It's just that I choose to be in a more quieter laid-back kind of place, and we don't have any trouble out there. There's nothing going on there. So that's why it's a little confusing that you're only interested in 6 acres. I know that's not totally true because you are interested in more than that. But
Well, that's to
really
respect your,
don't
oh,
think,
I'm sorry.
you know, progress is coming, and it's not that I'm opposed to it. I can be in favor of it. I don't have a problem with that. But I think it needs to be a little more thought through and dealt with because you're dealing with people that have been around a very long time. So you can't just come and say, I'm going to take you because we want to take you.
And
It
by Iowa,
needs to be-
by Iowa law, we can't do that.
Okay?
We can't do that in Iowa. No.
But-
And I'm
but
not
if somebody
opposed
wants to
annexation in and of itself,
Yeah.
but progress needs to have some kind of direction to it and be more,
The line is on the map convoluted so that the gentleman can get his wish and you can get yours too. There's no other way to get you
I'm
both what
sorry,
you
I'm
want.
not going to get a wish here because
Well-
I don't want you to come there.
Well, you can't stop the gentleman
I
from
know.
his own ground being put into the city.
I know.
I
But if you take
understand.
a bite there, will we take a bite somewhere else? To where-
Can't do that in Iowa.
And I want to be clear, just so that 5 or 10 years from now, you don't come back and say, wait a minute, you told me you couldn't do that. 2 ways in Iowa you can do it. You can do an involuntary annexation, which requires the city to go before the state annexation board and then get their approval, and then come back to the city of Council Bluffs for a vote of the public, both the current city residents and the area to be annexed. And I believe that's a 60% vote, is that? And so 60% of the public need to approve that. We tried that probably 10 years ago. It was a miserable failure.
You did fail.
The other thing, well, it was, you know, it's a long story about how it failed, that if we did it again, we'd be smarter in how we did it. But the other way that could happen is that 20% rule I talked about. And so if somebody around you that had large enough parcel that said, we want to be voluntarily annexed, and for the city to smooth out its boundaries, they could take you. So I just,
Okay.
I don't want you to
all
think
you're
that we
going-
misled you. I want you to be
I
totally.
understand
yeah.
that, but all you're going to gain is 6 acres, okay?
That's today, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else wish to address the council? No, we just get one, so. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion from the council? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. This is a time and place for a public hearing in regards to Resolution 15-284, determining an area of the city as to be a blighted area, and that rehabilitation, conservation, redevelopment, development, or a combination thereof of such area is necessary in the interest of public health, safety, or welfare of the residents of the city, designating such area as appropriate for urban renewal projects, and adopting the 2015 amendment to the West Broadway Urban Renewal Plan. Is proof of publication on file?
It is on file.
Have any written protests been received?
None received.
Does anyone wish to address the council in regards to this matter? Seeing none, is there a motion from the council?
Motion.
to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, to explain what we're voting on here, in a few moments, we'll also be voting on on another matter involving setting up a taxation, or I'm sorry, a situation that'll allow development to take place through granting of urban renewal district. And expanding this urban renewal district is the current vote And this is very important that the agreement move forward and allow this to take place, because this provides for the sort of necessary development projects through private commercial entities. They receive incentives to develop, and this will benefit those in the community as well as directly those over in the West End. So it's very important that this move forward, and I'm supporting this matter. Having said that, I want to make sure that we use caution as we move forward to start to implement parts of this particular plan, because there are a number of aspects to it. The West Broadway urban renewal plan and the whole corridor plan is very complex. It's going to take a long time. It'll be very expensive, and I want to take care to make sure that resources are used as wisely as possible. And I point to things like in this plan, there's I believe there's about $4.5 to $5.5 million that we envision spending to build half of First Avenue, and that's to accommodate bus lanes and bike paths through there, and that will only provide for half of that total length of the West Broadway corridor. That's a considerable amount of money. And when we talked about the corridor plan in the past, there was no bus usage, commuter studies that might develop whether or not that sort of spending would be wise, either in the near term or the long term. Words are important in these sorts of plans too, and this plan contains language that enables the city to move forward to acquire property through processes such as eminent domain. And we have to be careful as we move forward with these sorts of things that we respect not only the taxpayers but also the property owners. But I will support this plan.
I think this is a fantastic example of leveraging private enterprise with government being a part of it, not the major part of it, but a significant part of it, so that we continue to make our community an even more viable place for people to want to live, for businesses to want to go to and to stay to. And this is a fantastic way of, for the first time in 65 years, completely rebuilding West Broadway, west of the viaduct type systems. This is a part of it. That's not tonight's vote. But the whole idea of making certain that area has the jobs and the housing for the future of Council Bluffs, particularly Western Council Bluffs, it's a great thing. And I very much support it.
Anybody else? All those in favor signify.
Wait, we have a.
Sorry.
Bruce Kelly, 864 McKenzie Avenue. I went to the meetings on the West Broadway corridor, and one of the things that we brought up, and I think the public down there did want to see First Avenue, and they talked about it being a bus route. I think that was one of the things why the city has brought this into shape, that the people did want to see a specified route for the buses to be off of Broadway so that it'd free up the traffic. And this was, most of the people that I talked to that went to the meetings agreed on that there should be a First Avenue, and that'd make a great bus route so they could keep things off of Broadway and just specify that it wouldn't be used strictly for First Avenue for through traffic, that it'd be designated for basically a bus route and other routes and trails and stuff. I thought I'd bring that up, that it was brought up at the meetings that we went to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Madam Clerk?
Ordinances on first reading. Ordinance 6250, amending ordinance number 4852, providing that general property taxes levied and collected each year on all property located within the amended West Broadway urban renewal area in the city of Council Bluffs, county of Pottawatomie, state of Iowa, by and for the benefit of the state of Iowa, City of Council Bluffs, County of Potawatomi, Council Bluffs Community School District, and other taxing districts, be paid to a special fund for payment of principal and interest on loans, monies advanced to, and indebtedness, including bonds issued or to be issued, incurred by the city in connection with the amended West Broadway Urban Renewal Area 2015 Amendment to the West Broadway Urban Renewal Plan.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Is there discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Ordinance 6251, amending the zoning map as adopted by reference in section 15.02.070 by rezoning the property legally described as Lot 10, Blocks 37, Central Subdivision from R3 Low Density Residential District to C2 Commercial District as defined in Chapter 15.15, setting a public hearing for November 9, 2015 at 7 p.m.
Move the resolution and set public hearing for November 9, 2015, 7 p.m.
Second.
Is there discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Ordinances on third reading. Ordinance 6244, repealing ordinance number 5757, which approved the tax increment financing district for the Bart's Motel Urban Renewal Area.
Motion to approve. Second.
Is there discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Ordinance 6246, amending the zoning map as adopted by reference in section 15.02.070 by rezoning the properties legally described as lots 6 through 10, Block 1, Hags First Edition, from R3 Low Density Multifamily Residential District to AP Administrative Professional District as defined in Chapter 15.13.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Is there discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Resolution 15-285, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with Erickson Construction Company Incorporated for the levy certification geotechnical MR2 project FY 15-06A.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Resolution 15-286, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a development agreement with BHI Development Incorporated relative to the extension of a sanitary sewer main.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Resolution 15-287, authorizing the mayor to sign an Iowa West Foundation Initiative grant agreement.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion?
Well, I would like to thank Iowa West for being a continued valued partner to the city and to the residents. This Phase 2 of the River's Edge Hannafin Park will include a water play area, which this afternoon the Parks Director indicated would be different from the water play area now up in Playland Park. Also, public restrooms, a community room for people to have parties, meetings, etc. There'll be a plaza area with some public art as well. So it's Phase 2, long-awaited Phase 2. I'm glad to see this moving forward, and thank you again, Iowa West. And the city, of course.
City, yes, because the city is also needed to make a matching one-for-one amount of over $1.1 million. This is on top of the previous grant and city match of $850,000. So that brings the city contribution for this close to $2 million, and at a one-for-one match, that brings the overall project cost to about $4 million. I would invite those out there to take a look at this project area on the map, where it's going to be located, and note the size of this project area, and it's quite amazing how we get $4 million in such a small area. My congratulations to the engineers.
In addition to water feature, it will have a community building that will have restrooms and have areas where you can have wedding receptions, where you can have business meetings with rooftop dining on top, and so that's how you get more than $4 million in that project, because it will be more than $4 million.
Well, and I've said at the opening of the Hannafin Park that really that's the jewel of our city, and this further enhancement will just make it even better than it is today. So, it's a great project.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Pose same sign.
Nay?
Resolution 15-288, declaring an official intent under Treasury Regulation 1.150-2 to issue debt to reimburse the city for certain original expenditures paid in connection with specific projects.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Pose same sign.
Resolution 15-289, supporting the addition of one communications officer position to the authorized strength of the City of Council Bluffs.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Is there discussion?
I am so happy to see this. I know this afternoon I said 6 years ago this was on my wish list. I think it's actually been 8 years. And it also was one of my top priority lists when the city council had our retreat. What was that? That was 6 years ago, I think. But this officer position is really going to help the city to shape the message and to put forth the message, all the great things that are happening in our city. If, God forbid, we have another natural disaster, this communications officer will also be the point person to disseminate information, important information throughout the community. And so I'm happy. I know we could not afford this position back when I first asked, or when I asked the second time or the third time or the fourth time, but I'm really glad, again, Iowa West has stepped up with a 50% funding of this position, which is appreciated, and thank you to the city for finding efficiencies and the funds to pay for the other half and to make this a permanent position. So I think it'll be a great enhancement to city staff.
It's a fantastic example of the city being responsive and being able to speak with the people, being able to listen to the people. There seems to be a significant interest in the community for that, both online and on the ground. And I couldn't support it more. It's a fantastic idea.
This was something I too have been interested in for years, and it seemed like any board or commission I sat on or any study group that I was in, this would always come up when they were asking what are the needs of Council Bluffs. And again, the money just wasn't there to do it. I think that this position's going to end up doing a lot more than most of us realize. You know, one of the things I've always wanted was the ability that when you've got a question or concern, that you could email the city or on the Facebook post a question. We didn't have anybody to respond with answers to that. There's just not, we don't have the staff. You know, if it was directed to a department head, they would certainly answer it. But I want to know that when a citizen of our community has a question or concern or something like they'd like to see, that they're going to get a response and a quick response, not, 3 days later when a department head reads it or it gets forwarded to them.
So if you're up to the challenge out there, watch for this position to be posted. Nearly $98,000 in pay and benefits, so be looking for the job.
Any other discussion?
Of course, that does include the tax and other costs of, when you look at a lot of positions, both in government and in private business, there is quite a cost to every employee, particularly health insurance these days. And if you look at the market, and I did, for the private PR or public relations of any kind, this is actually low. It's about average. It's the median for this region for a government position, but compared to private, it's a little low. So therefore, I think it's a reasonable number.
Well, the ratio from salary to benefits, it's about 2/3, 1/3. So a third of that is eaten up just in the value of the benefits.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Applications for permits and cancellations, night A and B inclusive.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Madam Clerk, any citizens requesting to be heard?
None received.
Anyone from the audience wish to address the council?
Bruce Kelly, 864 Mackenzie Avenue. I'll change it up. I went to Fairmont Park when they first cut down the trees, and I'm going, God, this looks bad. Now that I've gone back up there and it's starting to fill in underbrush and everything, and I went up and saw the new splash park, which everybody thought there was going to be this. When you said water park at first, we thought this was going to be slides, everything else, and everybody's going, there's no way you can have that up there and have just the parking you were going to have. Now that I've seen what has been done, it's really nice, and I think that if we can get the money from the state to do some more of this work in the park to get the trees cut out, it is going to make it really nice up there. And I just wanted to thank the people that you guys have working on this to make this happen. And don't forget my trail.
Won't forget Canesville now.
Anybody else wish to address the council? Anyone from the council?
Well, again, tonight, you'll notice we're all wearing pink T-shirts. October is Pink Out Month. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so we're wearing the shirts in support of breast cancer health and awareness and breast cancer. And these shirts were the Jenny Edmondson program that we're wearing them for.
And I just want to say that it's deer rut season, if everybody knows what that is. So please be careful when you're driving. If you see one deer, there's probably more. That's how I hit my first one. I watched the first one cross the road, and I thought, that's pretty cool. And then, bam, right into the second one. So please be careful. The deer are on the move, and with the time change coming up Sunday or Saturday night, it's going to get darker earlier. We all know this stuff, but just a good reminder.
And I just want to remind everybody, November 3rd is an election, so please make sure you exercise your right to vote. Your vote really does matter. I mean, if you looked at primary results, it was very close. So everyone's vote makes a big difference. You can vote in advance at the courthouse if you need to even. You can get an absentee ballot or go out on the 3rd of November, and please make sure you vote.
Anyone else? With that, we're adjourned. Thank you.
At Council Plus Savings Bank, you still get personalized customer service.
We have identity-safe checking with LifeLock, identity theft protection.
You get personal mortgage lending to fit your needs now and in the future.
You get business banking with the latest technology because saving you time saves you money.
At Council of Savings Bank, you get people who answer when you call and local employees who are actively involved in our community. Council of Savings Bank, hometown banking the way it used to be.
The Mid-America Center is the Heartland's premier entertainment and convention center. September 27th, Papa Roach and headliner Five Finger Death Punch rock Council Bluffs. Then rock opera takes the stage with the return of TSO November 18th. Over at the Convention Center, over 200 exhibitors are on hand at the Callahan Craft Show. And October 18th, vendors aspire to inspire at the Wedding Essentials Idea Show. Remember, the MAC offers free parking for all events. Tickets, information, and more at midamericacenter.com.